I was going to talk about this for maybe an hour or so because I already talked about it on YouTube. But I'm starting to see a lot of videos on my timeline about people who are upset with Beyonce about her wearing the Buffalo Soldier shirt. People are upset. People feel some type of way. I posted this video on Twitter where there's one woman. She was all like, Beyonce should donate to some organization that helps Native women, Native missing women, or Native women who experience violence or whatever the case may be. So they're pretty much saying Beyonce needs to pay a tax for wearing a shirt about the Buffalo Soldiers. And I'm saying a whole bunch of people who claim to be Native, and I'm gonna be very honest with you at this point, because anytime a black person, I was gonna say a person who got dark skin, I'm gonna be very specific. Anytime a black person claim to have any bit of Native ancestry, that black person is gaslit, made fun of, ran out the room, all of that. And yet these people look Caucasian as hell. They look like British people, and they claiming to be Native, and yet the Native American community never gives them any pushback. I can't help but notice that the people who are mad at Beyonce are pale skinned, their features look European, they don't even have dark hair a lot of times, and they don't get no pushback. Y'all don't give no pushback to the $5 Indians, but okay, all right.
I'm sorry, the app be kicking some of us out.
Oh, yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
it is what it is. I guess. I mean, we know who run the show. We already know how y'all been doing. But my thing is, and my voice is still getting a little bit better. But my thing is that if we're gonna talk about the true history and the relationship between black people and the red natives, the red natives actually owe black people. The red natives fought alongside the Confederacy. If you guys know American history, they fought to keep slavery. They owned slaves. They were slave catchers. A lot of them, yeah. If you want to talk about, and they get mad and trying to talk about Beyonce owed them and all that, and the Buffalo Soldiers did boo up the bam. How did they? If you're coming up, you got to mute your mic. How did they treat black people? How did they treat black people? Okay, Beyonce don't owe nobody
I heard
nothing
they were
unless they.
worse.
We treat
You
them like
got to be.
Yeah,
family.
I heard they were really
I'm gonna let you go
truly.
ahead, but
Mhm.
you got to mute, and I'm gonna finish my monologue a little bit early. I'm gonna let BX go ahead. She gonna set the decorum for the room, and then we're gonna get to some of the people. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I'll be right back, BX. You got it.
No problem. So when y'all come in the room and y'all request stuff, immediately go on mute. When you come off your mic after being directed to mute, please state your race and ethnicity. So, my race is black. My ethnic group is African American slash Black American. I culturally identify as foundational Black American, meaning my ancestors can be found here during the emancipation period of 1863 to 1865 and documented on the 1870 U.S. Census, right? Has to be the U.S. 1870. If your ancestors are not on that 1870 document, then you are not a foundational Black American. You are not a Black American, and you are not an African American. You are your parents' country of origin. So if your family is Jamaican, then you are Jamaican American. Then it's Haitian American, Nigerian American, Ghanaian American, so on and so forth. It's important that you identify as you are because I didn't do your genealogy, so I have to take you at your word. But it helps us put your statements into context on how we can respond to you. So I don't understand why, you know, anyone tries to hide that. Also, please keep it TikTok friendly language only. So you got to say words like grape, unalive, strange fruit, and if you're unsure of a word, just spell it out. We'll get it. So I've been told, Afro, that we are not to comment with fruit emojis because TikTok has gotten hip to that. If
Mm.
somebody starts cussing, then we have to drop them, and then bring them back up. Do not comment F1, do not comment fruit emojis, and do not comment TikTok shop. So they caught on to those little tricks there, and we have to reinvent the wheel. Also, keep it TikTok friendly in the chat. I will try to warn y'all, but if it's too, I guess, vulgar, then I will have to mute you for a few seconds just to get the comment out the chat. But if you're doing too much, I'm gonna just go ahead and bounce you because obviously you should be engaging somewhere else. I think. Oh, you see that heart by Afro's name? Click that heart, complete the daily mission, and that helps push him up in the rankings, and keeps him in the algorithm. So I believe that's all, Afro.
All right, that's good. Let's get going. Let's get
Mm-hmm.
started. So Choctaw. I'm gonna let you go. Your race and ethnicity, please.
Race, we consider American Indians. My ethnicity will be Choctaw.
All right. Okay. What do you have to say about the prompt?
Well, she just not hip on the history of the Buffalo Soldiers. Cause she called us, what she called us on the back of back of the shirt. She didn't say, but whatever was on the back of that shirt said we was invaders of freedom. I like that, you know. I don't know the whole quote.
What exactly was on the back of the shirt that you have an issue with?
Yeah, she called us. We was going against peace or whatever she was saying on that shirt.
I mean, if you have an issue with something that was on the back of the shirt, right?
Yeah, we're not. Well, the whole thing, the Buffalo Soldiers, regardless of.
Do you have an issue
What
with
was
the
on the back of the
Buffalo? Do you have the issue with the Buffalo Soldiers or what was on the back of the shirt?
Well, both. The Buffalo Soldiers. That's what.
Okay, both. Both.
That was
So
used as a tool for.
can you give us the exact thing that you have an issue with that was incorrect about what was on the back of the shirt?
We wasn't going against peace. We was. I was peaceful when y'all got here.
Okay, so you're Chickasaw, right?
No, Choctaw.
Choctaw. Okay, Choctaw, right? Well, yeah, that's okay. And you're saying that you have issue with that. Now, what is your issue with the Buffalo Soldiers?
Well, they were just a tool for white supremacy for manifest destiny.
Mm, okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Have the Choctaw tribe, have they not been that as well?
Nah, we took in slaves before America was formed. I mean, back in 1960 or 1699, that's when French came and brought enslaved Africans. So we've been having enslaved Africans with us before the United States was even formed.
So y'all been, quote unquote, enslaving people before the United
No,
States was formed, right?
no, we took them in. That's what I'm saying. They became part of the family. We adopted them into our nation.
Well, is that
When they
so?
say enslaved, that's what the Europeans called them. They called them slaves and all that. We didn't call them slaves.
Oh, is that so? So you guys took him in and you guys freed him, right?
Yeah,
And you fought against slavery, right?
yeah. We had Choctaws have
Mm,
three different bands. You know what I'm saying? We was like you could say like the Democrats and the conservatives and the Republicans. We was like that too. So there was the Republican or the Democrat part and the conservatives. We was all against that. So there was people that kind of agreed with them, but majority of us
there was people that
we didn't
kind of
agree.
agree because we have documented history that the quote unquote Native Americans were fighting alongside the Confederacy. We
No,
have
there was.
documented history that the quote unquote Native Americans owned, and I'm talking about several tribes owned
No,
black slaves, and then they kicked these black slaves out. They removed those freedmen when they were starting to get the treaties, when they were starting to sign treaties with the American government. They removed black people, they removed freedmen, they removed anybody who was black from their tribes, which is
no, that's
why
wrong.
you
That's
have
wrong.
black people suing the tribes in 2025 because black people have a right to be a part of or take part of those treaties that
Yeah,
were
they.
originally designed for them to partake in.
They did. We did. We made them part of the nation. 1855. We gave them 40 acres of land.
He
I
Okay.
is
got the
such a
documents. I can show you the
liar.
land patents and all that we gave our enslaved Africans with us. It's
What is
He's
documented.
messing with
where
you. He
exactly is your
lying.
accent? Hold on, where's your accent from? Cause I'm in.
Texas,
Where's your accent from?
Texas, Texas, baby.
He
Texas.
lying.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause at this point, there's no picture, there's no nothing. I can't prove that you sound like a white Southerner
Yeah,
to
I'll
me.
turn my camera on. Let me turn my camera on for you.
No, he just up here messing with you.
No, I'll show you the documents. I can show. I can.
You don't
I
have no
can.
documents on that. Stop
Yeah.
lying.
Let me show you a land patent that we gave our enslaved
His
Africans.
No,
documents is gonna
land
have to
pass now.
refute the documents of everybody.
Chief
Hold on, let me.
Warhorse said that the Buffalo soldiers were murdering our people.
No, they
Hold
were the
on.
Our
Hold on.
92nd Battalion,
You can't say
first of
that. You can't
all.
say that word on TikTok. Come on now. Damn.
again, Chief Warhorse said that the Buffalo soldiers were
I've
used
been sitting
to
here. I don't know.
unalive
Are
the
you rotating the
American
panel?
Indians
Yeah,
who
hold on. It's not your turn to
Hold
speak.
on, hold on, hold on.
I'm still
I did
talking to.
set the. So you know what I forgot, Afro. One mic, one at a time.
Hmm.
Right now, Afro Elite is talking with Chaka. He will call on the next person, and y'all could address what was said. But we like to keep the quorum on this panel. Please mute up.
Yeah. After
Norel, can
1866,
you please mute
after
up?
post slavery, we made the. We like I say we signed a treaty. We made the freedmen's like Choctaw. I think we had up to maybe 1,000 enslaved Africans with us. Well, they call them enslaved, but we didn't call them that. So we did sign a treaty 1866. By 1855, we made them all part of our nation and gave each one of them 20 to 40 acres. This is a land patent right here showing that we had gave our freedmen 40 acres. Well, 20 to 40 acres.
Sir, we can't
Okay.
see it clearly. Does
I'm
it say
literally looking
race
up the
on
history.
there?
I'm literally looking up the history, all of this revisionist history, and everybody wanted to sit up there and deny their participation in slavery. All of this revisionist
Well, you
history.
got to
We
understand
know the
how we
history
work.
of the Native Americans, and we know that history.
There's only
There
5
might
tribes though.
be a couple of black
You
people
can't
that was
put us in the
cool, but
modern
y'all
day.
was not. No, y'all were not cool with black folk.
Yes, we was. I'm telling you, we gave them 40
No, y'all
acres.
were not. We're not
Yes,
gonna
we
do that.
was.
Y'all were not cool with
Yes,
black
we
folk.
was. You can't.
Y'all did not
How
stand
you
with
gonna
black folk.
debunk this information right here? They we gave our freedmen 40 acres. How you
Then
gonna
why are
dispute
black
that?
people suing these tribes to get participation now? Huh?
Because after, cause y'all was part of a nation from 1855 all the way to like 1970, 1980. New treaties coming about, and we went by blood.
Okay, we're gonna yeah, and then about blood, and y'all use that blood excuse to kick black people out.
Well, there's some that stayed in because they was lineage, they had lineage.
There's some that stayed in.
One,
No, don't lie. See,
yeah,
all of this revisionist
a
history.
lot of them
See, the
stayed.
second y'all got
The
the
motherfuckers couldn't
opportunity
prove
to
by blood.
remove black people from their
No,
rights,
that's
which was the
incorrect. That's
rights that you
incorrect.
guys signed off the deals
Yeah,
that you guys
what you
signed from
say?
the government,
Incorrect.
y'all kick black
Incorrect,
people
man.
out the tribes. We're not doing that.
You just
We
want to
all
be. You just want to make us look at the bad guy. We're not.
too many. No, yeah, because y'all are the bad guy.
No, we're not. You understand how Native people work? We go by the mother side. There was
Oh,
Europeans got married
nah.
into the
Okay,
nation.
okay. Y'all
I
going
can
by the
tell you
mother side.
names. I
Sure
can
you
tell
do.
you names. You can look
Y'all
up these
finding
names.
every which way to sit up there and kick black
You
people out the
are.
tribe,
You're
dude.
trying to gaslight people in the
I'm
comments.
not
That's what you're trying to do.
gaslighting. You
Yes,
just
you
admitted
are.
it. You just
No,
admitted it.
that we took them in, made them part of the family, made them
And
part of
kicked
the
them
nation,
out. And kicked
gave
them
them
out
40
when y'all
acres.
got the money. And kicked them out when y'all got the money.
What money? What money?
The money from the government off the
We
deals
didn't
y'all
get no money
signed.
from the government. We're a sovereign nation. We make our own money. That's what sovereign means. We govern our own self. We make our own laws.
What
We ain't got
treaty?
to say,
What was a part of the treaty that y'all signed with the government then?
which one? We
Okay,
signed
you know
9
what?
treaties
Never
with them.
mind.
Not,
Okay, we're
not
gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
yeah, y'all mad at the
Walking
information.
you off, man. Who
No,
told you off?
thank.
No,
Yeah, you
we
mad. You
can't
want to
really
gaslight. You just
decipher
want to
the
gaslight.
information. Your
Y'all know
head
this
is in front.
information.
Hold on, sir. Sir, you're
Yeah.
showing us anything. We can't see the name. We can't, you know what I'm saying? No, move and
You got
put
the
it
name
to the
right there on
front.
it.
Does it have race on there? Does it have
Yes,
race
it says a
on
freedman.
there?
Yes.
Thank
It's a
you.
freedman.
Thank you.
It's
Put
a
your head
freedman right
down.
here.
Put your head down.
Freedman. This is a whole
Okay,
land
I see
patent.
it. Hold on. Sir, let me read it. Thank you. Choctaw. I'm kind of familiar with your antics, but here Afro allows everybody to have a voice. So the history I remember, Afro Elite, is that the five civilized tribes, which I believe Choctaw is one, did enslave black people. They were called Africans, and I don't feel like arguing with people. We not African today. And some of those five civilized tribes did renege on the treaties, right? But
Hmm.
specifically for me, I remember it was the Cherokee. Now, was it the Choctaw too,
Yeah, it was.
And what
Afro? It
and what
was
It was.
okay.
It,
And
it
the
literally was, and I had
Choctaw,
to. I
not the
literally had
Choctaw.
to on my other phone. I literally had to review
Uh-huh.
the information again. I had to
what
review the
tribes are
information
you
again
all?
just to make sure.
One
First off,
minute, ma'am.
everybody can't
Y'all,
talk
if y'all
at
don't
the
hold
same
on, if
time. You're
you
gonna get a
okay,
chance to speak. I'm gonna let you speak, but everybody can't talk at the same time because then everybody can't hear, and it's not fair. Okay, so just hold on. I'm gonna let you speak. I'm gonna let you go. Um, and but to be honest, what you guys are doing, what I see a lot of the quote unquote Native Americans doing now is telling very revisionist histories around their relationship with slavery and their relationship to other black people. Okay. Because you can do a Google search with not just Native, with Choctaw and then black people, and you can see how Choctaw owns black slaves and how they kick black people out of reservations
That's not
and how
true.
they
That's not true.
reneged on the treaties.
No, that's not true.
Okay, well, of course. I guess your information refutes all of the other documented information that we have. So we're just
Exactly.
gonna
You
move
ain't
on.
showing no documents. I'm showing real documents. You word of mouth. Let me see your documents.
Okay, we're gonna move
That's
on.
what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I First off, I can't tell what this is. We can't read shit off this. You got a damn piece of paper up here. We don't know
I can
what
give
the
you.
hell
Hey,
this
let me.
shit
I'll give
is.
you the site. I could give you the site of it. You can read it
I mean, you
yourself.
can go. Okay, let's move on. Hey, be
Thank you, brother.
respectful,
Thank
y'all. Be respectful, cause I'm not the one. Just don't do that. Talk about some word of mouth like we don't know the history.
you. Yeah, that was sort of stressed me out too, dog.
wait a minute. Did Leroy just come up here? Or he's been on
Uh,
the panel?
Leroy, I don't remember bringing him on the panel. When did you get up here, brother?
I've been here for like 15 minutes.
I guess he
Okay, all
did.
right,
Why is
Leroy.
he
I guess
lunch?
he did.
Do
Hey,
you
I'm
remember
ready.
the decorum that I
I
said?
don't know.
State your race and ethnicity for the room first, please, and then you could contribute
Now
to the
let's.
Yeah, I'm through.
conversation.
I was just about to get to her.
She left. Why?
Yeah, she just left. Ah, damn. And so it is what it
Yeah,
is.
so I'm 38 and I live in
You said
Texas.
what?
And
You said what?
I'm 38
She's
and I live in Texas and I'm Black American.
Okay. What's on your mind, brother?
So
You
we
talking
talking
to me?
about Beyonce.
Oh,
We're talking about Beyonce and people getting mad at Beyonce.
That's a country woman right there. That's a country woman. I love her music. You heard me?
Okay,
So what's
but
the problem? I love her music.
This
the
nigga trolling.
do you know about the Buffalo Soldier shirt and people getting upset with the Buffalo Soldier shirt?
No, sir. Not exactly, man. Not exactly.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on then. Okay, to
You don't get
people.
to move on, dog. You
Can
don't
I
get to
say
move on.
something?
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Can I say something?
Who is speaking right now?
Sparkle.
You said
you
who?
are very low,
Who is
ma'am.
speaking?
Sparkle.
I believe it's Starseed. She's the only
Oh,
one off her mic, but she
Right.
sounds extremely
yeah,
low.
you sound
Right.
very low. You were
Right.
louder earlier.
Right. Something. I dropped my phone in the water, so
Oh
it's
wow,
kind of low.
I hate that.
Here's what I want to say. Um, the Buffalo Soldiers were Africans that came here. Okay, and they were here killing. I mean, I'm sorry, unaliving American Indians.
Okay,
Okay,
hold
and
on. Hold
Chief
on, hold on,
Warhorse.
hold on, ma'am, hold on. I assume you're native, right? Yeah, I think you
No,
said that
no,
before,
I'm
right?
not native. My ancestors were the Mayans, aka American Indians.
Okay.
The Mayans migrated from Asiatic regions. I
Well,
hope you
you
know
don't
Now
that.
tell
hold
me
on.
where
Let's let
my
her go.
ancestors
We're
came
gonna let her
from,
go. Let's let
sir.
her go. Let's let her go. Let's let her go. Okay, you got it.
Okay. Chief Warhorse down in Louisiana stated that the Buffalo Soldiers came here and they were unaliving tribes here. And I have a video where a grandson of a Buffalo Soldier admitted that they were here unaliving the Indians.
Okay.
So when you
And
say that they were
they were
Africans, the grand
Africans that were
one,
brought here.
what, what? Okay, 1 minute. Can you tell us the year of the video and if the grandson identified as African American at the time?
Well, I would say he was maybe great grandson, but there's a video, and he admits that his
Mhm.
grandfather was one of the Buffalo Soldiers, and they said that he said 85% of the wars that were done by the Buffalo Soldiers unenlivened Indians.
Okay,
Mm.
so
I have the video.
what
None of this makes
website did
sense.
that video? Right, one moment. What site did that video come from? Is it a credible site?
No, it was off of Facebook.
Right, I'm
So,
not gonna allow
so
it.
do you know this person in the
I don't
video
care what you
personally?
don't allow. I was telling you where I got it from.
No,
Okay,
I'm
well,
asking.
don't get hostile.
Well, don't tell me
Yeah.
what
Do
you're not
you
going to
hold
allow.
on, hold on, man? Hold on. Do you know the person in the video personally?
No, I do not.
Okay. So
Just like the videos you all show, you don't know the people that's on those
okay.
videos.
All right. Hold on now.
I don't show
Let's not do
videos.
that
Well, you
now.
should. That would give you
Man, hold on,
credibility of what you're
man. Hold
saying.
on now. Okay, because you're telling me, I mean, you're coming here and you're saying it as a fact, and what you're saying is very serious, and
Yes.
you're saying it from um, somebody's grandson who said that they heard it. Okay, and you're coming here as a fact, and now Beyonce is catching flack, and this is very secondhand information. Now, when you first came off your mic, you weren't saying that you saw heard a video. You were stating it
Because you cut
as a
me
fact
off. You cut me off.
because it wasn't your turn to speak.
Okay, but you said that I didn't say it in the beginning. But I'm just telling you the reason why I didn't is because you cut me off.
Well, because it wasn't your turn to speak.
Okay, fine.
But now I'm asking, okay, so because of this video, and you think that the Buffalo Soldiers were
There's
just
other videos that
rampaging
show
through?
that they're saying that they were over here unenlivened Indians. Not just his video. It's
Can
other
I ask a
Now,
videos
hold
question?
about the
on, let me
Buffalo
hold on, hold
Soldiers
on, hold
that
on,
were
hold
here
on,
No,
fighting.
L,
hold on.
no, L, no.
There's a lot of
Everybody stay,
videos.
go on mute except for Starcy, please. Everybody on mute. Thank you.
Okay,
There's a lot of videos showing that the Buffalo Soldiers were over here unaliving Indians. There's not just his video. There's a lot of video. Look it up. I mean, I don't
okay,
know
and
why
that's,
y'all
ma'am.
haven't
Okay,
looked it up that they
okay,
were over here
ma'am. Let's say
unaliving
that. Let's say
Indians.
that. Let's say that the Buffalo Soldiers were not independent contractors. The Buffalo Soldiers were working under the American Army. Okay, and there were war going on, and they were soldiers, a part of the American Army. But I feel like a bigger factor in that, since we want to make it seem like this is some type of moral issue, and we're making it seem like these are independent, like a gang of people instead of battalion in an army. How are the Native Americans, how did they treat black people during that time?
Well, I can't speak for Native Americans. Okay. My
But you're
ancestors
speaking for the
were
Buffalo
by the
Soldiers,
North.
though. But you're
Wait, I'll
speaking
tell
for the
you where
Buff.
my
Hold on,
ancestors
hold on.
came from.
If we have history, we have documented history. It's not like we don't know these as a fact. Every time we say, okay, well, let's hold the Native Americans to the same moral standard, people want to start moving the goalpost, and that's my thing. Because if we're gonna hold the Buffalo Soldiers just soldiers. They're not the generals. They're not the decision makers. But if we're gonna hold the Buffalo Soldiers to a certain standard, we actually have to hold the natives to that same moral standard. But when it comes to holding the natives to the same moral standard, and they did very egregious, immoral things, people want to start moving the goalposts around. Let's not do that.
Well, I'm
How did
not
they go?
speaking
I
for
mean,
the
we
Native
were enslaved for
Americans. For
centuries,
one thing,
and
I'm
they
not.
was living on reservations, and they didn't bother helping. They enslaved black people. They were slave catchers. So the way I see it, it was a cast full of villains. If we're gonna be very honest,
Okay, let me ask you this. Now, I've been listening to you for a while, and what I understood that you said that you was American Indian or had some ancestry American Indian, right?
when did I say that?
Oh, so you're not.
I'm asking, when did I say that?
I thought I heard you. I might have misheard you.
Okay.
So what you're
I've made.
saying that you're
No.
African. Is that what you're saying?
I
What? She's
am
just gaslighting,
foundation.
bro. She's like,
No, I'm not I'm just asking him a question.
Yeah, let her ask. Let her ask. Hold on. What was the
I
question
wanted to
again? I'm
know
sorry.
what is your heritage
I'm a foundational Black American.
and what does that consist of? I'm just asking.
I am a descendant of the people who were enslaved in North America.
Okay, so that means you're African.
No, not
But
necessarily.
that's who you all say y'all was enslaved here.
Yeah, there were
Okay.
Africans enslaved here. There were also a lot of natives who were enslaved here, and
A
those
lot of
people.
American Indians, not natives. Natives were not
Okay,
enslaved
okay,
on the
okay. The semantics, but okay, okay,
American Indians are
okay,
different from natives.
okay. I'm sure. Let's not. Okay, uh, whatever you want to call them, they were enslaved here. Whether they're American Indians, American natives,
Yes.
indigenous, whatever you want to call them, whatever the semantics, if it's a big deal, they were enslaved here, and then there were Africans enslaved here. They were all enslaved. Look at Crispix addicts. All right, so it was a lot of mixture going on. So and on because of the ethnogenesis, it became a new ethnicity was born, and I am a part of that new ethnicity. But why? Let me ask you,
piggyback off of that really quick.
why are you asking for my lineage?
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I was just wondering. I was just wondering.
May I say something real quick, please?
Hold on, let me ask you. Okay, so what tribe are you from? See you.
I'm from my ancestors, like I said, from North Carolina and Mississippi. North Carolina had the Cherokees, and the Mississippi had the Choctaws.
And how do those tribes treat black people?
Again, I'm not native. When you say that natives were the ones who were enslaving so-called black people, that's them. We're American Indians, and we were being
So called.
enslaved.
They
We were
Okay,
being
own us.
okay,
enslaved. We were being enslaved.
okay.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on. I need everybody to practice some type of emotional intelligence. Please don't come out your off your mic. Let her go. I'm on mute and I don't agree with everything she said.
Okay.
Oh,
But I still have
So
to
you're
allow
saying
her
I'm
you're
to
just
not you
speak.
telling
you're
you.
cause
I was
I'm a
just
little
saying
you're saying
that
hold on, ma'am. Hold on,
American
ma'am.
Indians were being enslaved. I have papers to prove from the Dawes Roll that my ancestor was brought from North Carolina into Mississippi as enslaved. Okay, so everybody from Africa was not enslaved on this land. A lot of Africans were free on this land, and they got their freedom, and they were going to college back here in 1835. Look it up.
Okay.
Everybody over here was not enslaved from Africa. A lot of
Nobody's okay.
Africans were over here owning plantations and owning slaves. Look it up. Learn the real history of Turtle Island.
May I speak, please?
Then
I,
go
I was
ahead,
next,
please.
brother.
Let's
I
I
was
would like
let's
to
next.
say
let's let's
something,
start
brother.
getting
Please,
this
I
thing.
ain't gonna be long.
But
I would
Michael,
like to
but
say,
Michael, what I was gonna say was gonna directly piggyback off what he said. It'll be very quickly.
Because I can not even really hear that much. I can't really hear what she's saying, and
Oh God.
I feel like we're running into circles or whatever the case
Yeah,
is.
yeah. She's kind of prevaricating, but let me
Okay.
just.
One minute, because I have two people here. After we have two people here who want to speak, Jarrell and Mike. They both
Okay.
want to speak. They both came off their
Yeah,
mic.
I'm gonna
Who
just be
goes
really quick,
first?
Darrell
Michael, if you don't
next.
mind.
Darrell was next, right? Right. He
Yeah,
was
yeah. I'll
next.
be really quick.
Okay.
When we talk about our ethnogenesis, and she said, "Well, you're an African."
Okay. We need your
Well,
race and ethnicity
I'm a
first,
I'm a
please.
foundational Black
Race and
American.
ethnicity. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So the average genome of a Black American, foundational Black American, cannot be found in Africa. That's point blank. Period. If you look up, it's some. I mean, there's many studies on this. Bryce, 2014, characterizing the admixture of African Americans. All peer-reviewed studies, they conclude that the genetic architecture of Black and foundational Black Americans is distinct from Africans. So when you say that because he's from the enslaved people, that makes him an African. No, it doesn't. Okay, I don't know if you know what the average genome of a Black foundational Black American is, but it's about 25%, 20 some percent European, 70% African, and 1 to 5% Native. Right. That mix was created in America. You can only find that mix in America. So I don't know why people have this. You know what I think it is, brother? Truly, it's because we don't. How can I say this in a very? We don't want to admit that the genesis of our great ethnicity came from forceful breeding. But for me, brother, that is what makes it so great. Because I mean, it's unfortunate it happened, but we are the result of people like the greatest, like the best of each group. You like the Europeans, the Africans, even some of the natives. We have that's all represented in our admixture. And not just represented, for instance, with the West African. You don't even get the best West African, but you get them, the ones that made it through the Biafra, and then the ones that, and then they bred them to, it was like they were bred to be strong. We like something like Captain Planet in a way. But I just want us to really, really stop. Like we have to like really understand. Okay, we're about 1/4% European, bro. Like let's just cut all that other stuff out. That's what really ties us to this land. Our African ancestors, especially the women, something happened to them. That's why we can't call ourselves African.
He said African.
May I go speak, please?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
How's everybody doing at first? And thank you for having me. I'm
Hi,
54
Mike.
years old. I'm from Alabama, and I classify as FBA. Okay, I like to say this: the Buffalo Soldiers were not bought here from Africa. They was FBA soldiers, like the brother said, working for the government, and they had a job to do. They wasn't like you saying unaliving the native. First of all, the tribe you claim you a
I
part
said
of,
American Indians.
man. Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
please? Can we not please? I mean, the semantics is really.
Well, I was just correcting him. He said natives. I said American Indians.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I represent American Indians. I don't
Okay,
represent
the
natives.
American Indian tribe you claim. Don't forget, you look it up. They're part of the five civilized tribe, right? They
And you
own
were
slave.
murdering, and you
They
were
own,
unaliving them,
ma'am. They
and you were
own
Yeah.
slaves.
unaliving them.
Okay. Let's be honest, and I gotta remove you because we have to be strict about the language. You cannot be saying that. You
They.
can't do that. You're gonna
I'm
mess us
sorry.
up.
I,
No,
I'm.
you didn't say that, but she said that.
Oh,
And when she
okay.
said that, now because she said it multiple times,
Yes, ma'am.
and I
Yes,
gotta
ma'am.
let it slide. But the longer you keep saying that, the worse it's gonna be, and then the live is gonna get shut down.
Yes, sir.
So
Well, I
I'm
was.
not saying she can't come back up, but we have to drop her down at least for right now.
I understand. What I was simply saying is, she was trying to make it sound like that they bought the Buffalo Soldier. Like what you call them, missionary from Africa to over here.
Uh-huh.
They not. They are really. Look, they are foundation Black American soldiers. Descended from the slave trade. Like us, joined the military. The matter of fact, it was the native. It was the Indian gave them the name Buffalo Soldiers,
It's true.
and they were not unaliving tribes like she say. No, you know what I mean. And the tribe she claims she a part of own slaves. I'm from Alabama. I live like 15 minutes from a creek, the so-called creek reservation. And they, oh man, long story. But
But here's the
that's all I
thing.
just had, sir.
The
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I
No,
thought you finna say
and here's
something.
the thing: people don't understand the Buffalo Soldiers. They're not. Their design was not just to fight off natives or
Right.
Indians or whatever. They were a battalion that was in the military. So any battle the military was fighting, they were a part of that battle. So
Exactly. Yes,
they
sir.
fought the Spanish, they fought the Mexican. Any war or battle, they were all fighting at
And
that
you know,
time.
I'm gonna say
Now,
this.
what's going on is that now, because of now, there's some type of moral judgment given to the Buffalo Soldiers for what they did, as if they weren't an extension of the U.S. military, as if they were their own independent party. And my thing is, if we're going to start judging soldiers individually or as groups off of some moral standard, then we have to apply that same moral standard to the people you guys are calling Native Americans and natives.
Yes,
And
sir.
when you judge the same by the same moral standard, I'm not changing it. Because I'm not saying that they're not wrong, but I'm saying, okay, if they're wrong, then let's look at what the natives have been doing this
Right.
entire time.
Skinning people,
Enslaving
yeah,
black
skinning
people,
people, all
catching
type of stuff.
slaves, all of that stuff. And then they try to move the goalposts of, oh, no, it wasn't my tribe who was doing that. No, man, come on. Because
Yes.
ain't none of the tribes was a hero to black people.
No, but
And to this day, none of these tribes are welcoming and opening to
no, they're
black people.
not.
All these tribes practice the same exact thing. So we're not going to sit up here and act like we don't know.
Well,
And you
that's the
know, their
part that
biggest
doesn't
thing
make
back
sense.
then was, you know, how they used to take the enemy's hair. You know, I don't know if I can say scalp or not, right?
Mhm.
But when they would do that, do you know that it would they purposely look for the black man's scalp? It considered being more value than anything else. So they wanted when they use raid. Excuse me, use a raid. You call they would go on their raids and stuff on the people land. They would unalive the slaves on them up on the land. They don't speak about that,
Can
and
I
it's
say
true.
one thing real quick?
Yes, sir. I'm down.
Um,
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
if y'all look at history,
wait.
I'm sorry.
Let me just make sure that Michael has landed his plane. Have you
Yes,
landed,
ma'am.
Michael?
Yes, ma'am. I'm there,
Okay,
and
good.
excuse me, I do have a little speech impairment here now, you know. So I'm sorry, but that
No,
ain't.
no problem. I have two sons. Well, I have more than that, but I had two of my children had speech impairments, and you know what? We understand you.
Thank you so
So
much.
we
Thank you.
understand that happens. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So yes. So El, if you could just state your race and ethnicity and then give your submission, please.
Yes, I'm black, and what I have to say about that situation is it doesn't make
Black, hold on, brother, hold on. You're black from where? Like, what's your ethnicity? You're black
well.
American. You're black Jamaican. Like, you know, because race can be a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm black. I mean, that's all I claim. I don't claim anything else, brother.
Okay. Where your parents were from? What country?
America. You're right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we say Black American, and the reason why is because a Jamaican person is also black, and so is the
Hmm.
Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? So we're all black, but we're from very different places with different cultures and backgrounds, and that maybe it causes confusion. Why we do this is because it narrows things down so we can put people's responses and opinions into context. All right.
Yes,
So
and I
that's why. But
totally agree
you got
with
it. You got
y'all.
it. You got it. You got it. You got
I
it.
totally agree with the FBA movement about and the whole spill you gave about us being pretty much having all kinds of different things in our DNA here in America. So I
Mhm.
totally agree with that. But like on the flip side of that coin, I do not agree with America. Does that make sense, man? I don't know I don't like to claim it, man, because of the past, because of what's happened. You know what I mean? So I just stick to the black part, right? But I totally get it, and we
I,
are our own people.
yeah.
Period.
Okay.
Point
Yeah.
blank.
Okay. I understand. I mean, I understand that opinion.
Yeah, because
I
I
can
don't really have
understand
a
it,
need
but
to call
I
us.
don't want to diverge
So,
too far off topic, so I'm gonna let you speak on the topic.
okay, yeah. So, what I was gonna say, man, is that doesn't really make sense. The whole spiel about, oh, okay, they were enslaving us, and then now, oh, we're just gonna go unalive them for no reason with these soldiers. That doesn't even make sense. And then if you go do your research, you'll find out that the Europeans were actually fighting them on some of these reservations to release their slaves.
That's true. That is true.
The Europeans were fighting, saying, hey, and they didn't want to let us go. They wanted to keep us, the natives, or whatever you want to call them. So you can go look that part of history up.
I hear
Yeah. Hey,
some were very brutal. I think they have a
hey,
book Afro called Black Slaves Red Masters. And that's available on Amazon.
mm,
So I hear they were more brutal than even the white chiefs. Some, not all.
yeah.
Hello there.
But hold on. We have Zeze in here. Okay, I'm so glad you were free. I am. I'm glad you were available. But this is
Indeed.
the co-host of the For the Culture podcast. If you guys have not gone to the YouTube channel and subscribed, you guys need to because we be dropping gems. All right.
All
She
the
also
time.
has her own individual channel and she be dropping gems on her own individual channel. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. She be popping on Twitter and Instagram and boo up the bam. I know it's like, damn, you gassing her out. Some. But what's on your mind? What's on your mind now?
Well, yeah, thank you for sending it to me because I didn't even know you was going to go live tonight. I'm actually about to go live and talk about this exact same thing in like 15 minutes. That's what I was getting ready for when you sent that to me. That's why I took
Oh,
the call
wow.
before him. Yeah,
Divine timing.
my bad. Yeah, I caught some of your live though on it yesterday though. Wonderful job. We love to see it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, so yeah, but I'm gonna drop my little 2 cents though. Which is, I mean, I respect the fact that Beyonce does recognize our lineage specifically, and she pays homage to even some of the more taboo parts of our history, like some see the Buffalo Soldiers as. I didn't have a problem with the shirt. I didn't have a problem with her representing that. The fact that this conversation is going, because like I said, I watched your live. Tariq was talking about it. I seen a lot of people on TikTok live making videos or going live about it. The fact that the conversation is happening, that our lineage specifically and things within our history is being talked about, especially this part when it comes to us and some of the red natives. I think that's a wonderful conversation to be started. Now whether some people think that what the Buffalo Soldiers did was egregious or not, that's on you. But I think I'm not here to pass judgment on our ancestors based off their survival instincts. You're talking about brothers and sisters, or brothers specifically, who are just coming out of slavery. It was that or sharecropping, which sharecropping was damn near like a step above slavery. So, them deciding to join a union, and mind you, these brothers are not having control over what what they're subjugated to, who they're fighting against, what they're fighting against. They're following orders. So at the end of the day, whether you want to, you disagree with what they did, you think that what you call is, it is what it is. They were surviving, and their sacrifices allowed us to be here today. And not only allowed us to be here today, allowed other brothers and sisters now to join the military forces, join the Air Force, join whatever part of the military they want to, and make such an or have an impactful effect on the U.S. military. And every sanction, every part of the military we go with, we've joined. We've had an effective or very impactful part of the military. We've made it a historic change or some sort of historic impact in that part of the military. So the Buffalo Soldiers is a part of that. I'm not about to sit here and go on our ancestors for some of their decisions. And then, or even besides that, again, like I've heard some of y'all mention up here, some of our ancestors was enslaved by some of these natives. We're not sitting here cherry picking which tribe was. Look, all of y'all, it's kind of hard to tell who's who when you're enslaving my people, or you're not fighting against those that's really this supposedly taking some of y'all land, but also enslaving and impressing the ones that were the ones that were deemed black here. So it's like I'm not. Back then, I could imagine, again, if you're surviving, you're put in that predicament. You're not about to sit here and cherry pick who's who. We don't have time for that, okay? Especially when you're being told specific orders. And not to just lean on that, but just because she wore a shirt, about the Buffalo Soldiers. Mind you, she just wore the shirt. Okay, we're not talking about. She didn't even talk about what aspects of the Buffalo Soldiers she wanted to highlight. The Buffalo Soldiers did more than just that. They were building roads, telegraphs. They were protecting, unfortunately, some of the settlers. They were park rangers. These brothers did a lot for this country. You know what I'm saying? They did a lot for the foundation of this country. So that shouldn't be ignored just because you're honing in on one part of your history and you don't even want to talk about the other half. Because shout out to Don Cheadle, he's a Black American. He talked about how his ancestors, he thought his ancestors were enslaved by white Americans. They were actually enslaved by red natives. You know, and this was after he found out that they were enslaved after the Civil War, like years after we were supposedly supposed to be free. So that is the truth for many Black Americans. I'm not about to, hey, it is what it is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to ignore my lineage, ignore parts of my history, or not acknowledge that because some of y'all is too fucking sensitive. It is what it is. Get over it. Shout out to the ancestors.
And one of the things I want to say, hold on, is I don't know why is this just doing it like that, man. This is weird. One of the things I want to say, like I said, they were soldiers, a part of the military. They're not necessarily working as independent people, all like, you know what, we're gonna go get the native. If anybody knows anything about the military, who participated or maybe have a military family, the soldiers don't take a vote on what battles they're gonna fight. Okay, exactly. So whatever battle the army, the government is fighting, that's the battle the soldiers are going to be fighting. They joined that right after slavery because there was no 40 acres and a mule. I mean, that was taken away. And this was their way to create opportunities for the community, which they did. And the way I see it, if it's a cast full of villains, because let's be honest, nobody's the hero. Just because somebody is more powerful doesn't mean that the opposite party is the moral party. Everybody involved was anti-black. So the way I see it, these people, the Buffalo Soldiers, they saw an opportunity to uplift their community and they took it, and I can't be mad at them for that.
Exactly. So I'm like, I'm not judging. We are in a state of privilege where some of us can't even imagine being in that predicament. Okay. And thankfully so. You know, those are that's from the sacrifices of our ancestors. So regardless of how you choose to look at those sacrifices, that was in the midst of survival. You know, it was that for some of them going either back to slavery or again being a step above that, which was sharecropping, which was not much. You know, it's not like you're getting paid at real wages or equal wages to white sharecroppers. You're getting paid pennies to the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not about to sit here and crucify our ancestors for choosing something out of survival. They did what they had to do, and it was done, and they made history. So I mean, it is what it is. And shout out to the person up here. I seen somebody say that the natives actually, so quote unquote natives, gave them that name as well. So I mean, yeah, and it was a part of that. The naming of that was because of their. I think I seen it was a shout out to a brother in Texas. He actually has a whole museum dedicated to the Buffalo Soldiers. An FBA brother in is it Texas? Yeah, it is. It's in Texas. And it's not only just for the Buffalo Soldiers, but it's for all sanctions that Black Americans were in, including like NASA, a part of the military. The museum is dedicated to. But he talked about how it was because of their woolly hair and because of their tough, you know, their tough skills in fighting, you know, which was symbolic of the buffalo. So I mean. That's I'm not going on my ancestors for that. I feel like that's a little anti-black for us to sit here and judge those who are in such egregious predicaments and only had but so many choices. I think you would have chose the fought too, especially again if some of these same people that look like them, whether it wasn't them or not, because everybody want to get into it wasn't that tribe, it wasn't this tribe, whether it wasn't them, the people that look like them was also helping in the oppression of their people as well, of our people as well. So. You know, I don't think it's too much room to judge.
I agree. I have to agree. Hold on. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Now, you did say you were going to go live on YouTube. I don't want to keep you too long.
I am. I'm about to get off. I'm about to go live in like 10 minutes.
Somebody in the chat room asked, what is your YouTube channel? Before you go.
Oh, Zeze Rants, A to Z TV. But you can also find it under Zeze Rants. The link is in my bio, baby. Go ahead, click that link in my bio. You want to come on over to see that. After his
So
live, I don't want to mess up your numbers stuff.
if you, yeah, yeah. So if you guys want to hear her take on it, you guys can go to her YouTube channel. We're not gonna take too much time because YouTube is a big deal. So you know what I'm saying. She got to do what she got to do.
Gotta get
All
her
right.
money.
Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all having me. Peace to the panel as well. Hey BX the gatekeeper, it's good to see you up here, sister.
Yes, good to see you again.
All right. Have a good live.
All
I'll
right, bye
talk to
y'all.
you later.
Yes, yes. Have a good life.
Okay. All right then. So yep. All right.
Thank
Cool.
you for having me, bro.
1 minute, Choco. I don't believe that you were next. I believe it was KK.
Yeah. K.
KK, if you could state your race and ethnicity for the room.
Oh no,
Hello,
I
can
didn't
y'all hear
say that
me?
I wanted to be next. I just said thank you for having me, bro. I didn't
Oh
get a
well.
chance to show my gratitude to the host. Thank you,
Uh,
BK. But I was addressing the host. Appreciate you.
no
Yeah.
problem.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
All right, K. You got it.
Okay, so I'm black. And my ethnicity is African American, Black American, foundational Black American. I'm a descendant of slaves in America. Okay, so I'm a Black American. So that's my ethnicity. Um,
Thank you.
we got
Yeah,
lots of
because it's like
names.
pulling teeth. It's like pulling teeth from some people. So that's
It
why I said
is.
thank
It
you.
really is. We
Okay,
had to
go
fight
ahead.
almost everybody every time. It gets exhausting.
It's really not that hard. Your ethnicity, African American, race, black. But I'm like I've been hearing some think pieces about this situation as far as like the Buffalo Soldiers thing, and like previous individuals had said, um I'm like, these people own slaves, and even in today I've heard like many people, Afro natives, like people who are mixed with black and native, and their experiences specifically within native communities, and the amount of anti-blackness and colorism and racism that these individuals experience. So yeah, like the previous lady said, I'm not going to judge our people, our ancestors, for doing what they had to do to survive. Like, I'm just not going to do that. And um and I think a lot of the think pieces surrounding this situation are extremely disingenuous. Like, it is extremely disingenuous. Um, and I just feel like y'all just want to be able to get off y'all hate on Beyonce, a black woman. To be quite frank, um, I just think it's anti-blackness and misogynoir. Under the guise of concern around the Buffalo. So y'all are not being genuine. Like, y'all are not. And even to the people in the comments who are talking about, oh, but don't y'all claim to be native? Like, that's disingenuous too, because first of all, not all of us do that. Second of all, um, I'm like, there are whole people within the African diaspora who denies their African ancestries. Aren't the Dominicans known for saying, I ain't no black, I Dominican? So yeah, like, let's not act like that is a black American thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is not. And we clown people who deny their African. We literally call them pretendians. So I'm gonna need y'all to stop in the comments too. Like, literally. That's disingenuous, and y'all know it.
Right. So let me just stop you for one thing. We do kind of clown people who deny certain aspects of our lineage. But for me personally, I don't like the pretendian word because we are an amalgamated group, and it is said that the average Black American, African American, foundational Black American has three main DNA components, right? Or races. That's African,
Well,
Indigenous,
yes.
and European.
European.
So everybody's lineage is specific to them. Um, and then it just kind of throws off the scheme of things. I'm just here to give another perspective though, you
Well, I'm
know?
like, but I feel like that's different than claiming that black people are. Because here's the
Hmm.
thing, you can be mixed with native. I'm not denying that fact. In fact, I even mentioned earlier, I happen to know people personally who like who are Afro Indigenous and are black and native mixtures. So I'm not denying that that is a thing. I'm like, but I feel like it's a different thing to say that black people who are mixed with mixed with the natives versus saying that black people are. Do you know what I'm saying? That is, those are two completely different things. Like, yes, black people can have
I
indigenous
get you.
ancestry.
But before, because I feel like that
I get you.
we're getting a little off subject with that, because to
I'm
be
sorry. I'm sorry. It was just a
no, I
compendium word
mean
that caught
that
my
is a
attention.
good point, because if we're talking about it, but to be honest with you, two things can be true at the same time. There can be black people who are, because if what we classify as native or indigenous are people who were here before Columbus, we do have scientific evidence that indicates that there were black people here before Columbus. So I mean, two things can be true at the same time, I feel like. But I don't want to change the topic of the conversation, because that's its own live. But charcoal, I guess
It
he
is.
didn't have the time to wait, so it's okay. That's fine.
Okay. So you could continue, Kay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do recall reclassification though, and things like that. So that's why I was saying it's another live. We can discuss it. I just was providing my input onto something that you said, but by no means does that mean you don't continue or just to stay on mute. You can go ahead and finish your point.
Oh no, I'm like, I was just saying that I feel like a lot of the conversation surrounding the Buffalo Soldiers is quite frankly disingenuous, and y'all are not. It's just disingenuous because, like I said, the people who are talking about it, I don't feel like they're not talking about a lot of like previous mention that a lot of these tribes did own slaves and were a part of the oppression of black people. I find it completely disingenuous to have all that smoke for Buffalo Soldiers and to have a whole conversation and piece surrounding that while not also talking about the fact that like the five civilized tribes, and it wasn't just them, but
It
they owned the
wasn't.
majority of it. And like, let's be clear, it was not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
them.
Folks trying to cherry pick and nitpick which tribes did which. No, we're not doing that. Y'all was
We're
all
not
damn
doing
near
it
the
because
same as
first
far
of
as that was
all, it was
concerned.
not just them. Because first of all, it was not just them. They are the most known because they owned a good much of them, but they were not the only ones that owned slaves. There were several others as
Those are the
well.
big ones that worked with the
And
YT.
quite frankly, it's
But
irrelevant.
let's get to though. Let's get to user and then a bunch of numbers. So user, I'm just gonna say user.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm a Mexican American, born here. So just wanted to clear that out really quick. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can.
Oh, okay. So I just had an opinion. It was pretty much first of all, there's no problem with that shirt that Beyonce was wearing, and I just wanted to say, kind of like in times of war and conquer, everybody treats everybody the way people treat each other when they're at war. It's like that's how it was. That's how it is, and everybody in history has oppressed people and pretty much and try to enslave people, because that's what people do, when they want power, And it's kind of, I just want to say, I felt like in our opinion, from what I understood, is the Buffalo Soldiers were just an elite, pretty much warrior team that was sent out to battle the hardest people in the Americas. You know what I'm saying? And one of my opinions is I felt like Pocahontas should have been black. You know what I'm saying? Black American color, not because I know a lot of people where I live, that some of them said they were black Seminoles, and they were originally from Florida, and then they went to Oklahoma, and then they kind of spread it out because of the battles that we're having from when the first Europeans showed up. They were battling these people. That's like stories that they told me. I don't know if it's legitimate or not. I'm just kind of, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of the information they gave me, and it kind of makes sense because I have a niece who's half Mexican, but her father is actually from Ghana, and their lineage is from Ghana, and he themselves, like their family, has told me that even in the continent of Africa, there's different types of like black folks because you can see it in their structures and their bone structures and their physique. Like when you see people from Ethiopia, they're all like slim and like certain complexion, and when you see like people from Ghana and Nigeria, they're like a different built, you know. So I could believe there was black folks here before the Europeans showed up. I just kind of wanted to state that out there, and pretty much thanks for taking my letting me talk, and I respect what you guys are doing, and no hate for anybody.
All right, all right. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks, sir. Let's get to Hope. Hope, you got it.
Yeah, so I'm black. I'm black American. And this whole situation, these individuals are dangerous. They just been finding a way to they just been finding a way to attack Beyonce from day one. They've been jealous of her because they don't got no Beyonce in their own damn community. Now you see the Mexicans and these Siberians, these indigenous, they want to come out and attack Beyonce because they don't got no damn Beyonce of their own. Beyonce is not where she's at because of their support, nor do we care. We gonna support her. We gonna back her up 100%. They can stay mad. I think they need to worry about their own quote unquote Native American girls and they women going missing. The last time I checked, the women and the girls are most likely to experience some type of assault from white tea men. So they need to worry about that. These are weak links. This is why they have experienced what they have experienced in history. Okay, we behind Beyonce. It is what it is. They need to stay mad. And the Mexicans, they keep on bringing up that weak ass Selena. Selena couldn't even sing anyway. All right.
She really can't. I mean, that's the truth, and we all know it.
Listen. I like Selena. We don't have to disparage Selena because our people
Ah,
crazy. We don't understand. We don't know what Selena would have said. Let's leave. Let's leave Selena alone, like we want them to leave Beyonce alone.
Oh
I
yeah,
did
but
like the
like
movie though, just
no,
not J
yeah.
Lo. Talk
But
about J Lo. Talk about J Lo.
Selena
Don't
only
talk
got
about
she
who
only
else
got
is
popular after she
Mexican.
passed away. She was only
Well,
relevant because
J Lo ain't Mexican,
she
but
would have
y'all
never
know.
met the fate of Beyonce. I'm tired. Yeah.
No, she wouldn't have. I don't think anybody really can reach some heights that we go to, right? Maybe Taylor Swift, but we all know even white people would prefer Beyonce if they were going on tour the same day. So I get what you're saying. I just, Selena's resting. Let's let her rest.
yeah,
But the
we don't.
Mexicans or
Yeah,
whoever's in the chat are a little, delusional.
yeah. But we gonna keep it pushing because we don't we got a lot of people want to speak now. So let's get to thank you though. But ain't nobody touching Beyonce. But yeah, we can respect the deceased though. At the same time, let's get to Black Native or Native Black.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I just wanted to come up. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not comparing because I don't think anyone compares to Beyonce, but I do love me some Selena. But in the terms of the background, um, I think a lot of people aren't familiar with the history, and a lot of people try to do revisionist history as far as painting natives as just like the good guys in all the cases. But is it not natives that enslaved Black Americans? Is it not natives that also signed with the Confederate soldiers to uphold Jim Crow and uphold desegregation? This idea that Buffalo soldiers went out and committed this G-side among these innocent natives is ridiculous. These same natives are the ones who were anti-black, just how they are anti-black to this day. Because if you look at the exit polls from the most current election, a large majority of Native and Indigenous people voted for Trump. So you're not on our side. You've never been on our side. So to not understand that Buffalo Soldiers were in a really really a bad predicament because they were recently released slaves who had no other option to make an income and feed their family except for to join the army. But you want us to come and cape for a community that not only enslaved us but voted with the enslaver. Like I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what the confusion is. I stand behind the Buffalo Soldiers. I stand behind Beyonce. And fucking stay mad.
All right. All right. Gotta respect that. That's true. They ain't no. We not gonna act like they are friends, and we not gonna sit up there and not acknowledge our history and people who sacrificed, who joined the military and sacrificed their lives for the door to open for the community, because the natives didn't do that for black people. Name a single door or opportunity that we got because of the Indians. Come on, because every time you look at the history, they've always been the ones sitting up there blacking black folk. They've always been on the wrong side of history when it comes to black people. So I'm not trying to sit up there and we're going to dismiss or we're going to not tell the story of our history and the people who paved the way, whether it was, nice or unnice, okay, whether it was sketchy or not, they paved the way for us to succeed because of natives who would never do the same. And I want you to keep this in mind. None of these people are dismissing their ancestry. None of these people are trying to cast aspersions on their ancestors the way they expect us to cast aspersions on the Buffalo Soldiers. So I'm not having it. I'm not going. BX, who was next? I lost track.
I
Was
think it was
Nino?
me.
Nino?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It was, yeah, Nino.
Hi, my
Hi,
name's
Kiki.
Kiki. Hey, how she at? BX.
Yeah, she is.
Dang, hey, Auntie.
I said, how she at?
Dang, I
You
can't
heard
hear
me?
you
Y'all
though.
hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Afro Elite, you hear me?
I hear you.
No, I can hear you now. I was just
Okay.
playing.
Okay, how she act? How she act, Lisa? Oh, okay, no
Yeah, my
problem.
name is Kiki. I'm Black American, but I'm also Afro Indigenous as well. I'm a part of the Cato Nation. My subtribe is Adaya. I have not experienced anti-blackness within my own tribe. Actually, when it comes to my tribe, when it comes to the runaway enslaved Africans, during the Trail of Tears, actually, when it comes to my people, they accepted them. And then also, you're talking about across the imaginary border in Mexico as well. So I have experienced, anti-blackness from the quote unquote five civilized tribes. Like that's usually, the white tea looking ones, that are heavily anti-black. But yeah, usually this is my issue when it comes to this Buffalo Soldier rhetoric. It seems like the Black Americans that are pandering, not only that, the Native Americans, they don't know the history of it. And I'm not a Siberian, so let's refrain from the disrespect. Native Black, anyways, right?
I didn't call
You're
you a
yeah, yeah.
Siberian. I was referring to the five civilized tribes. I wasn't referring to you.
Yeah, yeah, but it's just also disrespectful as well when in the conversation we're having that.
If it don't apply,
But
let
yeah,
it fly.
Okay, we're
yeah,
gonna
but
let her
also
go. We're gonna let her go.
disrespectful. Yeah, yeah, because I could have just said pretending, but I'm not going to say that because I'm respectful.
You
But yeah, when it
it
comes
wouldn't
to when it,
apply,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm gonna
well, when
let
it
it
comes, yeah,
We're
fly.
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah,
let
great,
her
yeah, yeah, yeah,
go. We're
great,
gonna
Yeah,
let
you
her
feel
go.
hurt, ma'am.
yeah, yeah. Oh no, you feel hurt.
I don't.
Anyways,
Okay,
oh
if
no,
y'all
you
don't
do.
stop, come on.
Oh
Sir,
no,
Hold
that's
sir,
on.
who's
him.
arguing with you?
No, I'm
Native,
not arguing
come
with him at
on.
all. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just saying be respectful.
let her go,
Yeah,
because
but
she was
anyways, when
quiet.
it
She was
comes to
on
the
mute.
history of the Buffalo
Yeah, now
Soldiers,
it's
it
her
seems like
turn.
they don't know the history of the Buffalo Soldiers and they're going around spewing misinformation. First of all, the Buffalo Soldier is of the fourth, actually the is it the ninth Cavalry and the 10th Cavalry, the 24th regime and the 25th regime. These groups of people were compromised of freed people, but also people that fought within the Civil War. These are groups of people that fought during the Western expansion, the Mexican American, the Mexican and Spanish, the Spanish. I'm getting it backward. Thank you, 9th and 10th. They fought during World War I, World War II, also during the Korean War as well. They're only hyper fixated on one thing, but also you got to realize a lot of these Native American tribes that they fought against, for example, the Cheyenne, right? they respected them because of their resilience and their fearlessness. So it's kind of weird that these people are respected in our community, and you got these pandering, coons on TikTok pandering to these Native American tribes because they think they were bad. Like, what are you talking about? Just like what Native Black said, these are groups of people that were feeding their families. Not only that, but were protecting the settlers, but also they were protecting cattle, all of that, just because they were Native Americans that were unaliving innocent people. We understand that white supremacy is a thing, but you got to understand during the Western expansion, some of these tribes, like the Apache and the Cheyenne tribe, majority of those tribes, they're known for being rough, for fighting, and they unalived everybody in their way. So I don't understand why it's just misinformation about the Buffalo Soldiers. I think it's ignorance. Not only that, propaganda being spewed, and they weren't protecting white people; they were doing a job. But these groups of, black coons on TikTok, they never talk about, just like what Native Black said, y'all said earlier, about the 5 civilized tribes on enslaved Africans. They never want to talk about it. So yeah, I find it weird and it really upsets me, especially when it comes to true African American and or Black American history, that for some odd reason people want to speak down on our ancestors. Not only that, the elders that fought for our rights. These are the groups of people that laid down a law and fought for our rights. But yeah, that's just me though. Like, it's just kind of weird, especially the people in this generation. It just kind of ticks me off.
Yeah, I agree. They did, and they made a sacrifice. And the thing is that what's interesting is growing up, we would hear stories about the Buffalo Soldiers. We would hear them being referenced in different media, whether that's music, whether that's TV, or whatever the case is. And it was never a thing to disrespect the Buffalo Soldiers. Not in our community. That was never a thing where we would cast aspersions on the Buffalo Soldiers, or we would belittle what they've done, or we would like side eye them. That was never a thing. It's now all of a sudden. Now, when you talk about the Buffalo Soldiers, now it's G side. Now it's they weren't good. They were tools of YT supremacy. Like, now it's a thing. And it's because other groups of people feel some type of way about it. Now you got people on TikTok. You got a bunch of tap dancing panderers on TikTok who are sitting up here going along with revisionist history and disrespecting their own lineage and their own ancestry because it makes another group of people feel uncomfortable. So, and I'm not having that, because none of these Native American $5 Indian, whatever you call it, none of these people ever cast any aspersions on their history towards us. But we got to dismiss or disregard or throw the Buffalo Soldiers under the bus to make them feel more comfortable. I'm cool. Y'all don't have to feel comfortable, according to me. I'm fine with y'all not feeling comfortable. I'm very okay with that.
Oh, but have you seen that too? I'm not trying to interject. These Native Americans that are mad about it, they never speak about, the issues going on with our community. I've never heard them speak about on their platforms about the black men and women that are being unalived on a day-to-day basis. I don't hear them speaking about the racism and oppression that we face every single day. But they're mad because of Beyonce wearing a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
If I could, I
Let's
wait.
keep the room flowing though. Let's keep the room flowing. BX, well, Jay was next. Am I mistaken or no?
Jacob going, then after Jay, Gia.
Okay, all right.
Jay, may we have your age, please? Race and ethnicity. Jay, come off of mute, please. His profile picture look a little young, so I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that
nah, you're
he's over
right.
18.
Yeah, Jay going once, going twice. All right, I don't know. Maybe
Uh-huh.
maybe Jay got a call or something. I don't know.
Right. Hi, Gia.
What's up, y'all?
Hey,
Hey, hey.
I know you, but can you state your race and ethnicity for the room, please?
Yes, I am American Creole and I am in my mid-20s.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, I don't to the host, I don't really know how you run your platform. So if I start stepping out of line, just go ahead,
I got you.
go
Let
ahead
me
and reel
let
me
me
back
say
in,
this.
baby. Um,
Okay, so we know not to. One moment, Gia. If you cuss, then we might have to drop you.
okay,
Depending on how hard it is. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
okay. Well, I just want to say this to anybody that don't like, that don't like Black American people. Y'all can kiss the backside. That's what y'all can do because history has shown us that all of y'all, if not majority of y'all are not our friends. You do not like us. You don't have our best interests, and all of you all go along with hiding the history and trying to lie about who we are because truth be told, all of you guys are invaders and none of y'all should be here. This is not y'all land. This is not y'all country. The president is making that very clear who's who and what's what. And I just feel like a lot of y'all don't like it. And y'all just want to find every little thing to try to nitpick about our people. Now the new topic is the thing with Beyonce and the t-shirt and the Buffalo Soldiers. Y'all don't like the Buffalo Soldiers because they were fighting off the invaders. Why are we showing disdain for people that were fighting off invaders and also fighting off for their freedom just because they don't fit on y'all side of the history and they don't go along with y'all narrative? All of you all are just white supremacist puppets and y'all know it. Every last one of y'all groups works right alongside with the colonizer. Y'all benefit from the colonizer. Y'all get everything from them. Y'all livelihood, y'all place to stay, y'all reservations, y'all money, y'all college education. So stop sitting over here trying to nitpick everything that our people do because in reality, I don't know if y'all need to be reminded or not. None of you all would be here if it wasn't for our people. And maybe since y'all keep running y'all mouth and y'all want to keep getting smart and y'all keep attacking our community, maybe we could start doing some things to reverse all of that because it seems to me like y'all too comfortable up in here. We
Mm-hmm.
built this shit. So, tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Mhm. I don't play with these people. I don't cut no corners with them. We don't got time for that. Like our community has so many better things that we could be worried about. And it just seemed like, it's just a bunch of envy and it's just a bunch of jealousy. And they just think that we stupid. Do y'all think that we don't do our research on y'all and y'all countries where all of you random invaders come from?
Hello.
We know that y'all lands are barren. We know that y'all cannot grow fruit and y'all can't grow vegetables and it's not a lot of sunlight over there. We know what's going on in y'all countries. We know a lot of y'all are still having WARs, y'all selling the kids. Y'all got all type of horrible, vile things going on over there in y'all homelands. That's why y'all running over here like chickens with y'all head cut off. And y'all can't even do the thing is have simple respect for the people that made it possible for you to even be over here to have a damn apple. So
It's what is to add to that point. They don't just come over here and not give any respect at all, which is bad enough. But they come over here with like an attitude.
Right.
They come over here with a damn attitude towards the people whose sacrifices paved the way for them to have an opportunity to come here. Paved the way and subsidize an economy for them to come over here and start a business or to work or to go to school or to all of this stuff. None of this was done by their ancestors. Their ancestors had to bounce. But my ancestors stayed in the land and cultivated it and allowed other people to seek refuge in this land. And they got the nerve to come over here with some type of attitude with a damn chip on their shoulder.
How dare these people?
It's jealousy, and they
The
feel like we don't
unmitigated
deserve it.
gall. No, it's more than jealousy. It's first of all, it's sinister, it's diabolical. They allowed the government to weaponize them against us before they even got here. And they fled their land that they couldn't use their powerful engineering, doctor, and lawyer degrees in. Why, if they are such a great people,
Well,
y'all, why can they not use those degrees and go back and fix their shit? Because we fought to fix this. Every time our people excel, they
right
pull
now,
people up.
But Gia,
one
did you
moment,
land, Gia?
TT. Okay, TT land.
Oh yeah, that's all I really had to say, y'all. Y'all can really kiss our ass. If you don't like it, I think you all should go back
Oh,
home to your countries. And maybe try to go build your country up and stop mooching off of us, because everywhere you go across this landmass, our ancestors are buried here. Those people that you see in those graves,
God.
those are the people that worked hard for every last one of us to be here, no matter the race. They still finding our people in mass graves out there in Oklahoma. Okay, so I'm advising y'all to stop speaking on our people, stop speaking on our ancestors, because those are not spirits that you want to conjure up, especially if you're unprotected. So that's all I gotta say.
Thank
Love
you
y'all.
for your submission. Love you too, Gia.
Sister.
So I
Let's.
did well. American.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Go, and I did see if VT or J came up first.
What's up,
After
host?
American.
What's up, BX? What's up, Kiki? First of all, I want to say, I wish black people would stop saying, "Oh, I like Selena. Selena, I was a fan of." Most of her music was in Spanish. She was a
Stop it! I
Tejano.
said that. I
And
said
She
now they
that.
just attacking me for saying that she wasn't a good singer.
she was a Tejano singer. She was like most black people wouldn't understand her music. We started to become a fan when we seen her movie. Let's be real, and this
Yeah,
was
that's
after she
true.
was alive. Another thing I
And
want
then
to
she
say.
I always
started
felt like she was a
singing in
little
English.
overrated as a music artist.
Oh,
Personally, maybe that's me
oh,
personally.
I see what y'all doing. I'm just trying to respect the
But I
speech, the
do
same respect
understand
we
that we
ask
don't need
for.
to. We don't need to. We don't
I
need
get
to
it
like
though,
throw
America.
stones at
I
a
do.
deceased person. We don't need to do that now.
I was kind of upset when that was being
When they
said, but
came
at the,
after, yeah,
I just wanted to set the record straight. Most black people who are saying that they're fans of Selena are not really fans. They are Johnny Come Latelys who only became a fan after the movie came out. Most of her music
That's a fact.
was in Spanish, and she was a Tejano singer. No black person is bumping Tejano music. Let's be real. As a matter of
no, we're
fact,
not.
living in Texas,
Uh,
living down here in Texas. From PA. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, where Pimp C is from. I stayed
uh-huh.
right around the corner from Mexicans, and they bumped that all the time, and I couldn't
I
even
ain't gonna lie,
get sleep at night. I
American.
was,
I'm guilty American. I don't understand ish, but when it comes to that cartel music, I be bumping that. Like, I'm sorry. I don't
um,
understand a shit thing.
I didn't know that
From
they had
Cali or
cartel
something.
music.
but I wanted to finish making my point. Um, I think that a lot of people in the Latin community and the indigenous community are mad because Beyonce ain't the Latina that they want her to be. Um, and they're upset that she's the biggest artist of our time. And all they have to cling on to is Selena, and she's been gone since 1995. I was 5 years old at the time. Another thing is, Latinas are a bunch of three card Monties. They love to flip the script whenever it's convenient. Because were they native when Gus Garcia, who was the civil rights attorney of the LULAC organization, when he was saying that he believed that the Hispanics, the Mexicans in particular, are a branch of the Caucasian race, and that black people are not deserving of the same rights as them, along with white people? Were they native then? Were they native when they was able to go to YT schools that we was barred from during segregation? Was they native then when they were allowed to live in the sundown towns that black people was unalive for being in after 6 o'clock? Were they native then? Were they native, right? Were they native when they were allowed to ride on the front of the bus? And when there was no spots back in the back of the bus that black people was in, black people had to stand up to the next city, even though there was room in the front. And this Latino lady said, this Mexican lady said, oh, the blacks had to stand up while we had to sit on the front of the bus. Even if there were room in the front, they had to stand up. They couldn't sit with the rest of us. Were y'all native then? Huh? Were y'all native at that time?
Hey, brother.
When were y'all native when three Latino people went to HCC, one of my favorite colleges out here in Houston in the Central Campus, which was known to be the black campus, and they took over and they painted petty disciplinary actions on the black people and got majority of our high officials at the Central Campus fired, and there was a 50% increase in Hispanics at the school, and there's $100 million lawsuit out against them, and they was giving white people promotions over the black people and demoting black people to lower positions. Well, y'all native then, huh? I think that y'all are upset because black people in this country are not like the black people from your countries that y'all hide off into the favelas and have living near the pyramids out there. I think that y'all upset because black people are not like y'all black citizens that y'all only recognize as black citizens when it became convenient in 2015 because y'all was embarrassed. And I love how y'all talk about Mexico freed the slaves. The president of Mexico, Vicente Guerrero, was black at the time. He was an Afro-Mexican who y'all unalive because he abolished slavery.
Hello.
But if the president looked like y'all, I can almost bet that slavery would not have been abolished in Mexico. That's number one. And number two, there wouldn't have been no runaways going into Mexico because y'all are anti-black. And I really wish y'all stopped jumping from native because y'all don't know what y'all want to be. Y'all want to be white one week. Y'all want to be white tea one week. Y'all want to be native the next week. It's funny how y'all love to mention white tea supremacy when things don't go your way. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Well,
And I'm glad that black people are on code and we're calling out Mexicans for, and I gotta hurry up and drop because you know my channel is hanging on by a thread right now. I got an account man. I'm about to drop right now. I think one of them trigger happy motherfuckers about to hit the report switch on me. So I'm about to drop right now. So I'm about to get out of here.
brother, appreciate you.
You
Keep doing the work.
should hear the way I screamed when you dropped that N word. And then
Bye,
you didn't have
American.
to announce that your page is on the brother.
Hey, don't tell them. Don't
I
give
was
the enemy
on the
ammunition, brother.
right. That's what I'm saying. But no, that was beautiful. He teaches me a lot in that area of history. And on these panels, he always has my back. So American Woolhead is a solid brother, and he's very passionate about the ancestors, and that's refreshing. I believe. I guess we'll go to BT Afro.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, race and ethnicity, though, even though we're familiar with you.
Black American, both sides.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
yeah. So yeah, man, y'all cooking. I didn't know that they did this thing with Beyonce. So I'm happy that you're bringing awareness to it because you know it's something every day. Beyonce haters mad at Buffalo Soldier shirt. Why are they mad at her repping her lineage? What did they want her to do? Get up there with a shirt that say Boricua Morena? Like, how dare these people are the more and more it is, and you know how they repopulate, it is more dangerous for us. And it's really messed up. I have to be this candid because it's not like how YT folks were saying our population was dangerous. They was just racist. We not racist. We are calling out something that we noticed that Dr. Claude Anderson noticed and told us to be aware of because these people are not here to benefit us. When it was just us versus YTs, we understood the play. But we didn't understand it because we've been welcoming these folk, helping them, feeling sorry for them, and the whole time they've had ulterior motives to only boost and propel themselves. And now they want to try to use us to help their movement when they weren't there for any of ours. And have actually, while we've helped them become a higher class by feeling sorry for them and hiring them at our construction companies, landscaping company, and they've been saving their money to leave them and now and getting in management positions and locking out black Americans. They did the old trick bag on us. So we will not act like that's not a thing, and we won't let them make us back down and be scared to talk about it because we sound YT or we sound like some. No, this is for us, and we have the logical explanation to paint the picture of how these people have been weaponized against us, even though they know it. And it's a gaslight. Never let these people gaslight you like they don't know what they've been doing. One brother said it was cult-like even. And I said, that is true. He said they're not as family-oriented as we think. They just more cult-like to the Latin thing, you know? And
A lot of them are waving that flag as if they are here, but they won't even go back. Boo hoo! I need you to chill out. You can cry somewhere else, little mama. So
So
again,
wait, what happened? What happened? What happened?
boo hoos. I don't know. They're doing something over here beside me.
I guess you don't need to be.
Thank you. And so we have to understand that you cannot let them trick you. Because one tried to do it to me yesterday in real life. Then I got on the app and one tried to do it. Like, BT, you better than this, man. We always been down for each other. I said, bro, don't hit me with that fake black and brown that y'all been trying to do, bro. Y'all never been there for us. And one even went as far as say, we have the same plight. When I tell y'all I got so triggered, I said, well, I just knew your people came over here to work for pennies. I don't remember them getting enslaved. So what plight are you talking about? When Nuri Martinez is calling black kids monkeys and y'all out there doing the most in Mexico, then in Texas, y'all out there calling our people N-words and saying it as if y'all are us, but we can't say ick and et back, et bite. So why, how dare these people try to act like it's the same when they know how they act? And them ones in Texas, literally, they talk like YT folk. You won't know the difference on the phone. A lot of them can't even speak Spanish because they've done so much to assimilate to this society. And now that they getting a reality check, they want to call us to save them. And we're not going to allow them to come for Beyonce. We're going to continue to stand on our business educating our people because this is just too much. So thank you for the space. I didn't know anything about it, but now I'm finna go blasting on all my channels. We got to keep getting the word out that these people are toying with us and we just not going to have it. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Let me see.
All right, got you.
Yeah, it's J Big Dog K.
What's up, y'all? Hey guys, hey, I'm a buff. You know, I've been reenacting stuff with the Buffalo Soldier for years and stuff, right?
But real quick, what's your race and ethnicity, please?
Man, I'm black on black. I'm blackity black, brother. I'm
You
American.
FBA?
I'm so damn black. It's a shame, bro. I was
All
born here.
right now.
You know, and the bottom line is though, I don't ascribe to be nothing but black. You get it? You know, and I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be who I am, and I'm put it to you like this: our heritage. I know we built this country. You know, and I'm tired of these. My back been hurting from these sons of guns riding our backs for years. We ought to be tired of it. They so damn disrespectful, and they so damn unaware. But they want us to be like them. How can I be like you when every chance you get, you can always turn the other cheek and be something else? I've been black my whole life, man. I'm 61 years old, and I ain't got time for what Beyonce did. She ain't done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Nothing to be ashamed of. And that's the case then. They hate me so much. I'm in Houston right now. We are Buffalo Soldiers, and we sport our Buffalo Soldier gear damn near every day. We support our museum. We support everything black. And that's what we got to continue to do, you know, because they're trying to erase our history, right? And like we said, you know, we even got some black folks who try to tell me how the Buffalo Soldiers did something to their so-called Indian tribes and stuff. I had to remind them, man, look, in Oklahoma, they told y'all basically, hey, look, y'all lost the war. Why should we give up our slaves? You know, we didn't forget where we did come from.
Yeah.
Our history is the most important thing that we got to preserve because they're trying to destroy it.
As you're coming up, just mute the mic as you guys are coming up.
Right. Man, y'all, hey, man, I'm glad I was able to, you know, to catch y'all on this live, man, because y'all sisters and brothers on point, man, and I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Right.
Black first, brother. Black
Yes.
first.
Yes.
All right. BX, I don't think we're gonna do a super long one tonight because I still want my voice because I want to do the thing on YouTube, you know, the call-in show on YouTube. So I want my voice to be 100% better for that. So I want to kind of rest it a little bit. So we're not gonna be too long tonight.
No problem, Afro.
Yeah, not gonna be too long.
So are we
I
going to
think
Jay? Oh,
who's
he left.
yeah,
Jay
Jay
left.
kept coming back. Alex, I think Alex was next.
Yeah, I was just listening to what you guys were saying. I'm Mexican, straight Mexican. I'm not Afro Latino. I'm not Latino. I'm not Hispanic. I'm straight
Okay.
just Mexican. And I don't give a fuck about none of those other tags they try to put on us. I was born in Mexico.
I know we said don't curse.
Yeah, y'all under the TikTok is being more strict on what we got going on. Okay, so we got to make sure you can't. Yo, come on now. But I guess King is up here. King Eddie. King Eddie, you got it. All right. Well, I
You
guess.
gotta press the wait. Let me see if you press the mic icon on your dashboard there, King. If not, we're gonna drop you in 5 seconds. Okay, Afro.
All right. I
You
mean,
wanna wrap it up?
yeah, yeah. I mean, this was a cool live. We were here for like maybe an
Hmm.
hour. This kind of short. Me and you, we be going live like we be putting it in. We be clocking in, putting in some time. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is cool. We were here for. I like to do at least a good hour or so. We were here for. Yeah, it is short in comparison to how long we normally go, but that's cool. That's cool. Cause I got a special on YouTube that I'm gonna be doing.
When?
Indigenous Goddess, how you doing? How you doing? Um, but I got that call in special, and my voice is still getting better, but I want it to be 100% good
Right.
for that. So you know what I'm saying.
You'll
I,
advertise it on Twitter in case I forget. Then I can run
yeah,
over and just
I
pop in for a
haven't
little
set it up
while.
yet. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up tonight or tomorrow for Sunday.
Okay.
We'll do it tonight. We'll do it Sunday.
No
Like towards the
problem.
afternoonish time, around that time. Yep. But
Okay.
I
So
guess
you
we can
want me to
close this
wrap it
out
up?
then. Yeah, I guess you can close this
Yeah.
out.
I would like to thank everybody who came and contributed to the conversation. A lot was learned. I believe a lot was debunked. We really couldn't see Choctaw's his documentation. So shout out to it was 133 when I looked at the counter of the chat. So Beyonce haters mad at Buffalo Soldier shirt. And what do they tell us about it? Get over it already. She's
Hmm.
repping her roots, okay? Um, and so this was a nice, short, sweet live. And so after I gotta ask you, when can we expect you back?
Um, I might after my YouTube live Sunday. I might go live Sunday. If not Sunday, then Monday. If not Sunday, then Monday. We'll do that.
Okay, you know I'll be here. Thank y'all for coming out. Peace, love, and reparations.
All
Black
right.
Americans, foundational Black Americans.
Yes. And if you guys want to listen to the playback of this live, go to For the Culture on YouTube. All right. Thank you all. You all have a good night. Y'all be safe.
Good night, Afro.
Good night.